Protect your DNA. BioBQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
He's a good guy to me. Guess what? He's my friend. Guess what? I don't condone what he does, but as far as a person to person, he's my friend.
Kim Jong Un, 32-year-old North Korean leader of 4 years, recently executed his defense chief in front of hundreds of people with an anti-aircraft gun. Apparently, Defense Minister Hyon Yong-Chol fell asleep in meetings and backtalked one too many times. Kim Jong Un had Chol placed just 100 feet in front of a ZPU-4 anti-aircraft gun despite its 26,000-foot range. Chol was then brutally annihilated while hundreds of military personnel reveled in the bloodshed unleashed during Jong-un's continuing reign of terror. A defector recently divulged the execution of Jong-un's aunt in May of 2014. The supreme leader ordered his senior officials to have her poisoned to death. It turns out that Kim Jong Un's aunt, Kyong Hui, was a little upset after Kim Jong Un had her husband, Jong Un's uncle and mentor, stripped naked, thrown into a cage, and eaten alive by a pack of ravenous dogs. Kim Jong Un's uncle had suggested that Kim focus on large-scale economic development rather than building a water park and a ski resort that Kim Jong Un then had constructed after his aunt, uncles, and 30 of their advisors and helpers' assassinations. The United Nations proposed a commission of inquiry on alleged human rights violations back in 2013. With all the bleeding heart liberals tossing in their 2 cents every time you turn around, wouldn't it make sense that North Korea's human rights violations would be a major issue? Citizens are routinely rounded up, tortured via sleep deprivation, beatings with iron rods, and forced sitting or standing for hours, and regular sexual abuse of female detainees. Crimes against the state and crimes against the people are essentially the charges behind placing not just those accused of political crimes in jail, but everyone related to that person. Parents, spouse, children, even grandchildren. The camps these political prisoners are sent to are very similar to what transpired in Nazi Germany. Starvation, no medical care, lack of clothes and housing, torture, executions. South Korean officials estimate that 80,000 to 120,000 people may be imprisoned in one of the many Kwanlee-so camps. Now there are Japanese reports of widespread cannibalism due to the lack of food for the general populace.
With tens of millions of people starving, millions starving a year, Vanity Fair doing a report there admitting the only meat sold on city streets was little baby parts. And that's all the wealthy can hardly get is long ham, sweet pork, human meat.
It appears that if Hitler had been alive today, one would have to assume that our so-called leaders and plastic statesmen would have just ignored him.
We will respond proportionally, and we'll respond in a place and time and manner that we choose. It's not something that I will announce here today at a press conference.
Worse than that, my grandparents' generation would have never allowed themselves to have been subjected to legalized CIA propaganda humanizing Hitler to their generation once the prison camps were public knowledge. They would have just taken him out. Instead, Kim Jong Un's presence conditions the world to tolerate and even accept psychopathic, tyrannical domination.
So this is their plan, is to bankrupt you, is to dumb you down, is to poison you. Like you're a roach they're spraying with poison. On their power trip, they've decided we're just going to roll over and die. How about if we don't go along with that? How about if we identify them in their program instead of Hollywood stars and who's pregnant this week? See, the minute you start focusing on what's important and not on what they tells you important is game over.
John Bound, Infowars.com.
Hi, I'm Shane Steiner. A lot of you have been following my progress using Supermale Vitality. The last 19 weeks has been an incredible experience. I was feeling a little down and lethargic during the holidays, and none of the supplements that I was taking were doing any good. That's when my longtime friend from high school, Alex Jones, introduced me to Supermale Vitality. I was a little skeptical at first. Not only would I have the energy to work out and go to the gym, but it was actually the changes were happening to my body a lot more rapidly. My whole mood, my libido, everything had completely changed. The concentrated organic herbs, they stimulate your natural systems to produce the natural hormones that you need. I just really wanted to bulk up and hit it hard, and I went in for about the first 5 weeks and was lifting heavy weight and just really hitting it hard, and I gained 20 pounds of muscle immediately. Since that, I've decided I was gonna lose some weight and slim down. I just changed up my workout a little bit, and 35 pounds came off. Folks, this is not a joke. This is not a gimmick, it's real. Super Male Vitality, available at InfoWarsLife.com.